Monday the 16th of May. It's 20 to 10 and we're at the bottom at Frankton Lock Flight. It was chucking it down with rain in the night. It was raining as we set off about 20 minutes ago, but I think the sky is looking a bit brighter, so keep your fingers crossed we can get rid of the wet weather gear and crack on in the dry. Yeah, everywhere's wet through. Grass is wet, ropes are wet, towpath's wet, but it's quite pleasant as long as it's not raining. Everything's nice and still. We haven't got that horrible wind that we've had. So this is the last section of the Montgomery Canal. Once we get to the top of this flight, we are back on the Llangollen and we're turning, doing a right turn, and we're going to call it Ellesmere today because we're getting low on food, and there's a big Tesco in Ellesmere, so we're going to go there and might make some phone calls because we haven't had a phone signal for 3 days. It's been in and out, and I've got 1 or 2 calls and texts and things to send just to remind us that we are living in the 21st century and not the 18th. We have a lady Lockie with us this morning helping Sue, which is nice to see. And I think the weather is looking as though it's going to improve. Tesco's don't have pound coin operated trolleys, so you just go and pick one up and they're free to wheel wherever you want. And some kind person sort of fit to throw one into the basin, and as we were winding, we basically hit the shopping trolley, which was unseen of course, and it stalled the engine. It was that bad, a really big bang, and so I managed to retrieve the shopping trolley from the water with the boat hook, and we're on our way again, but could have been quite nasty. It could have been fatal for the boat. Anyway, this is a section where there are quite a few meres that have been formed during the Ice Age, and I'm trying to get a shot of one, but the trees are preventing it. I better just watch this bridge. Nothing coming. We've just passed the Chocolate Box Cottage, which again I missed because I haven't got my camera on the deck. We've made a decision to keep moving. We're not stopping for lunch because the forecast is for, well, thunderstorms basically. So we're trying to get as much mileage done as we can before we have to pull over for a rain stop. I know it looks most unlikely at the moment looking at the sky, but the forecast is for heavy rain and possibly thunder at about 3 o'clock. Well, it's 2:30 now. We've just moored up for the night, partially because it looks as though it's going to hammer it down with rain, but we were stopping near here anyway. This is where we are, Whixall Mosses. I'm not sure if we're in Wales or England, but we're very close to the border. I think we might be just in Wales, and that's the reason why we've pulled in. It's 4 o'clock, so we've more or less gone as far as we were going to go today. But just up there is the junction for the Prees branch. The canal turns right towards the town or village of Prees, and the main line goes left just before the little junction cottage, which presumably was a toll cottage in the days of the working canal. We've been lucky really, because it was due to rain at 2, then it pushed it back to 3, and we got on the end of one big cloud but just had a few spots and it moved away from us. But this one I think is coming our way. We've had a clap of thunder, so we're all ready to retreat indoors, and we'll be here all night. I'm out for my evening walk, and this is where I am. It's called Whixall Moss, and it's Britain's 3rd largest lowland raised bog, and it's of international importance for wildlife, and there are a number of trails, all varying lengths. I'm going to do the green trail, which is I think just about a mile. Get a sense of what it's like, listening to the bird song. Let's go and have a look what we can see. You can see the cotton grass there. We're about 400 or 500 yards inside England here. The English-Welsh border is over there somewhere. I don't think it's defined, but it was drawn on the map, and this is just in England. Looks like there's a colony of Black-Headed Gulls over there. One flying above us now. Hopefully I'll see something a bit more exciting than a Black-Headed Gull. But I've just come across this, and these are old peat turfs, which is I suppose a monument to the previous use of this land, because it was used for commercial peat cutting until reasonably recently. I think it was 1990, and of course everybody became aware of the importance of natural peat bogs, and commercial peat cutting came to a stop. And since then it's been nurtured as a nature reserve industry that was here. And this is Albert Almark's peat mill, which is why that pile of peat turves was there. And this is obviously some of the machinery that was used. That was obviously driven off a belt by some machinery. I think that picture shows a tractor, doesn't it? Yeah. Back on the canal towpath now. I've come off the moss. Nothing much to report. Nothing particularly rare. So I've had a nice pleasant walk, but I've not really seen anything particularly exciting. I'm getting back towards the junction of the Prees arm. Just as a bit of background into that, it was intended to take the canal along an arm to the settlement of Prees, but it never got there. It's probably a mile long and probably a mile short of its intended destination, but it's now used. There's a marina at the bottom that's been built, and that's used as a hire boat centre. Yet another one. And here I am at the junction. So the Llangollen is there and the Prees arm is there. Yeah, there's a lift bridge just down there as well. And the little toll cottage at the junction. But that's the arm that never got to where it was meant to go. But it has found a use. And then just there is what's known as a roving bridge. Which allowed the horses to go over, cross over to the towpath on the branch. So we'll just have a walk over the roving bridge and have a look. See, there are no steps. I don't think horses can go up steps, so it's a ramp. There's an aerial view of the junction. Wide bit out a bit. And it's turned out to be quite a pleasant evening. That's the Llangollen going towards the Shropshire Union at Hailstone, and then this is the Prees branch back down the other side. That's a pretty nice sunset now. So we're now back at the boat. So we'll just listen to the bird song.